Hi, Barbie.
Hi, Liz.
Hi, Court.
And hi, B Critics fam. Welcome to another episode, very special episode of the B Critics podcast.
This episode is part of our Coming to Theaters or Now in Theaters series where we discuss new movies spoiler free.
And in this episode, we're giving you all the scoop on the Barbie movie and what you need to know before heading to theaters.
We both saw this during the Barbie blowout party, which was the early access screenings, and it was phenomenal.
Yeah, it was such a blast. I'm very, very excited to talk about this. We're going to give you, I said all the scoop, but like, I don't know how you wouldn't. I feel like they've done
How do you not already
so
know?
much promotion for this movie. It's ridiculous. But we're going to tell you everything we can. I tried really hard to stay away from like a lot of the promotions and stuff on social media for the past couple months. So I tried to go in as like blind as possible. And it was fun. It was really fun.
Yeah, there's more to it than you think.
Yes,
for
definitely.
Sure.
There definitely is. I was pleasantly surprised.
All right. I'm going to give you guys like just a quick here's what the movie's about summary without giving anything away, but I am going to take these off first because they're a little bit distracting.
They're cute though.
Okay. She's a Barbie girl in a Barbie world. Everything is perfect and sparkly and pink until it's not. Something has changed and it's up to Barbie to fix it. With a little help from some not so Barbie counterparts, Barbie and Ken set out to make things right. Along the way, they come to some very interesting realizations. Is being perfect and beautiful and everything enough? Or is just being you better?
Ooh, the important questions.
Yes.
Did a good job of not giving anything away, Liz. So this movie is an hour and 54 minutes long, just shy of 2 hours. I thought it was a good length. I liked it. Yeah.
I think if it had been any longer, it would have been too long.
Yeah. But it didn't feel that way. It felt like entertaining the whole time. And then it also comes out today. So it's Barbenheimer Day. We just recorded our Oppenheimer episode, also spoiler free. So I'll try to get this one out today as well. So y'all can listen to it before you go see it today or this weekend. I'm going to go see it again on Sunday with my friends.
I know a lot of people are doing like the Barbenheimer double feature. So be sure to do the B Critics double feature before.
Yeah.
So that you can be super prepared and super excited going in.
I opened up the Skim today and this was the top story. Barbenheimer. I was like, world news, Barbenheimer.
I love it.
It's a Warner Bros. Picture, which is, I actually am just realizing this now is interesting because that's where Christopher Nolan came from. So it's like Warner Bros. Versus the Universal, kind of. But this one, we're not talking about Christopher Nolan. This one was directed by Greta Gerwig.
Another like fantastic director.
She's great. Yeah, she's big. She was an actress for a
while. I was about to say something I didn't realize like when I was researching her is that she was an actress. I was like, whoa, okay.
Yeah. Lady Bird, Little Women.
I haven't seen either of those, but I do know that Little Women won a Critics' Choice Award for the Best Adapted Screenplay in 2020, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, Little Women's a great movie. We're going to watch that one soon, hopefully.
Hint, hint.
So this one has a pretty good cast.
Pretty good.
Literally the understatement of a lifetime. This movie is like packed with people. So we've got Margot Robbie, obviously, as Barbie.
Obviously.
Ryan Gosling, my fave. America Ferrera, Kate McKinnon, Michael Cera, Ariana Greenblatt, Issa Rae, Will Ferrell, Emma Mackey. Can we talk
many others?
Can we talk about how almost the entire cast of Sex Education was in this movie? Like
how did that happen?
I don't know. The main kid wasn't in it, or at least I didn't notice him. But like, it was fabulous, and they were not like small parts. They were all like decent parts. I was like, y'all, let's go.
I kind of feel like there weren't really any small parts in this movie. Like every character like was a meaningful addition.
Yeah, I agree.
Which is pretty cool because not all movies are like that.
Yeah, this one had a fabulous cast and they all were definitely important to the plot.
All right, so let's talk about the characters.
Okay.
For me, it was because I didn't necessarily know that they were going to do this. They kind of take you on a history lesson of Barbie, and you get to see like all the Barbies, which is really cool.
Yeah, I thought that was cool. How do we feel about Margot and Ryan?
I thought they were perfect, like as expected. Like, okay, when you see Ryan Gosling on a film, you just know that it's gonna like it's Ryan Gosling, first of all. Like, he can do no wrong. And Margot Robbie has done no wrong up until now. So, like, you just knew that they were going to be fabulous.
They are definitely super good.
Yeah.
We'll talk about them a little bit more later. So we've also got America Ferrera in this movie.
Yeah. Her character surprised me. I had no idea like how big of a part that was going to be in the movie, and I thought she was literally perfect.
Yeah.
Like,
I've always been a big America Ferrera fan since Ugly Betty. So she was great in this movie.
Yeah. She was in Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
She's in a lot.
Yeah, this movie's like full circle from Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants. I'll just say that.
Okay. So we also have Kate McKinnon.
Literally loved her character.
Yeah, Kate McKinnon is good in everything that she's in. She has a very unique like style of comedy. For those who don't know, she is like a major cast member of SNL, and she always like portrayed Rudy Giuliani, which I think is like fucking hilarious. She plays weird Barbie in this movie, and that's just like a role made for her, I think.
I feel like I'm weird Barbie.
No,
I know
you're
I'm not, but
you're
like,
not.
I love weird
Absolutely
Barbie.
not.
Like,
calm down.
I want to be friends with weird Barbie.
You can be friends with weird Barbie. You can be friends with her. And then we also have Michael Cera, who plays Alan.
Another surprise character that I just fell in love with him.
Yes.
I was like, why do I like you so much?
I think you're gonna share that sentiment with a lot of people. He was comedy gold in this movie. He pops up like at the most random moments, and it's like amazing.
He's like the comedic relief in the serious moments.
I mean, there's comedic relief throughout by many characters. Okay, so let's move on to the soundtrack, which they released the soundtrack before the movie. So I'm sure a lot of people listening to this have already listened to the soundtrack. I personally did not listen to the soundtrack before the movie. Like I said, I was trying to stay away from everything. I'm like really psychotic about spoilers for movies. And so I don't like to like know everything that's going to happen before. This one was so hard, but we'll talk about some of the music now. It was fabulous. There was so much music in this movie.
So many like big names. Like, when was the last time we had a movie that had an original soundtrack that like everyone on it, you know who they are, and they're like everybody's favorite artists? Like, when was the last time that happened?
Yeah, the Lizzo song is like so classic. Like, that movie or that song is gonna be like known as like this year, like this era, you know? Yeah. What would you say was your favorite song?
The Billie Eilish song.
Yeah.
I'm like a sucker for a sappy moment, and
Billie Eilish is so talented. Have you seen her music video?
Yes.
Yeah,
she like dresses up like a Barbie.
Yeah. She should have been
it's
Barbie.
So cute. Oh my gosh, she could have been.
I had a lot of songs that I liked in this movie. So Nicki Minaj, Ice Spice, Barbie World, like that song was iconic to me. I also love Ice Spice, so like
they sampled the Aqua song.
Yeah.
The Barbie girl.
I love that song. I think it's cool. And then also Charlie XCX Speed Drive, which I just like Charlie XCX a lot too. So it's like not surprising that those are like my two fave songs. It's kind of my vibe. And then giving Ryan Gosling a shout out too. He is listed on the soundtrack with a song called I'm Just Ken. And
they released the music video for I'm Just Ken like a week before. I was like, okay, I'm not gonna lie, when I saw that he was doing a song for this movie, I was like, "Oh, no. It's gonna be like a La La Land
Well,
all
you
over
didn't like his singing
again."
in La La Land.
I did not like his singing in La La
He's
Land.
not a singer, right? But, like,
No.
when you think about theatrical singing, it's so
Mhm.
different than, like, a song you would listen to on the radio.
Mhm.
Like, I think he does great with theatrical
He
singing
did a
because
great song. This one was good.
yeah,
The
he
I'm Just
packs
Ken,
emotion
I thought
into
was
it.
fabulous. But it worked too because his Ken is just like a silly character. So I think it just like worked.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, so the cinematography, way the movie was made, um,
Mhm.
it's I think it's pretty unique. We've got, like, a mix of, like, the real sets versus the props, um, different backdrops that they, like, throw
Mhm.
in.
I liked the special effects.
Yeah.
They threw in like I don't think this is a spoiler, but they had like these like cartoon sparkles that would
Mhm.
like come on the screen at random times and
Random.
you're
Yeah,
like, "Oh
that
my
was so
god." But it
cute.
worked so well. Like it came
Mhm.
across really really well because this is a movie like about a toy.
Yeah.
And so they threw in a lot of elements that made you feel like it was a kids movie even though like it's not really a kids movie. Like there's some pretty like mature themes
Okay,
and
yeah,
it's
I'm gonna
rated
talk about that for a
PG-13,
second.
but
I didn't know that going into this movie, and, like, I was watching it, and maybe 5 minutes in, they make this like, Ken makes this joke, and I'm not gonna spoil it because it's, like, my favorite joke of the whole movie, and I was, like, sitting there like, "Wait a second, what is this movie rated? Like, there's no way this is a kid movie, like, surely this isn't going over the kids' heads," and then I looked it up after, and it's PG-13.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you could take your kids to see this and like a lot of what's going on they wouldn't understand. So you're probably gonna get some questions.
Yeah.
Um, but like mostly I would say it's like a big kid movie. Like teenagers and adults.
Yes. Yeah. I think PG-13 is an appropriate rating. You
Mhm.
could take your, like, mature 10 or 11-year-old maybe, but it's
Yeah.
gonna be like, when we had Leon for a Legally Blonde episode, and she was talking about how, like, she watched Legally Blonde, and then her and her mom had to have, like, the talk afterwards,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
yeah.
One thing I do wanna touch on just real quick is the wardrobe
Oh, yeah, of course.
because
How could you not? They dress
it was
everybody up as
perfect.
Barbies.
All of it. And they're real Barbie clothes. Like, those are like I had these Barbies. I grew up I was a Barbie girl. I still am a
Mhm.
Barbie girl, but I, like, had all the Barbies. I had the physicist Barbie, I had the doctor Barbie, I
Did you
had the Spice
really?
Girls Barbies. Yes, I had all of these Barbies,
Wow.
and the clothes that they put the Barbies in are the real clothes that, like, the dolls wore.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just so cool
I
because it's
think
like
that's really
they
neat.
brought it to life. It was I mean, I don't know. My inner child was just beaming, like, throughout this entire movie. I was so happy.
I bet you're
Yeah.
not, like, unique in that. There were a lot of people, like,
Mhm.
in their, like, late 20s and 30s, like, in the theater that I was watching, and
Mhm.
I just think that there were a lot of people that were kind of having that same experience that you had.
Yeah.
I was not, like, a super big Barbie person, like, we had Barbies, but,
Mhm.
um, I think we did, like, a mix of that and Polly Pockets, so we didn't really, like, have a ton of either one.
Yeah. You're also I feel like you're, like, more of a like, a tom girl
Well,
or, like, a tomboy.
yeah, a little bit. I mean, yeah. Yeah, but, like, we had Barbies, we had American Girl dolls, we had
Yeah.
all the things.
Mhm.
Yeet. Okay, so I touched on it a little bit, but this movie is literally like the modern day Legally Blonde, in my
Yes.
opinion. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. And it kind of
Uh
it kind of speaks to the fact that, like, it is PG-13 and they have, like, those
Mhm.
like, a lot of immature comedy, which I thought it was super funny.
Mhm. Yeah. The the thing that gets me is how, like and we're not really gonna, like, get into it because we'll have a whole episode on this, but
Mhm,
they had some messaging in the movie that is controversial,
mhm.
and Legally Blonde did the same thing,
Yeah.
and so, like, people it's gonna you're gonna get the messaging and you're gonna feel a certain way about it, but I think the important thing to remember is that, like, it is a comedy, it's a fun movie, it's, in the grand scheme of things, like, not that serious, so, like, go into it with an open mind and an open heart, and I think you'll really, really enjoy it.
Yep, yep. How do we think it compares to like other movies that like Ryan Gosling and Margot Robbie have done?
So I had two that I like immediately thought of
Mm-hmm.
to like compare the characters that they play. So for Ryan Gosling, immediately I had like the Notebook flashbacks. Like if his character in the Notebook had been like a silly, funny, goofy dude, it's like Ken in the Barbie movie.
Mm, I think those are like very different characters, but I think Ryan Gosling has a way of like being very playful and it comes
Yeah.
across really well, and like this
Hmm.
movie was just him being playful and extra and dramatic and silly, and like that was probably a lot of the elements that you really like about
Hmm.
Ryan Gosling, because he's in like action movies and stuff, but
Yeah.
I thought of like Crazy Stupid Love, like him being like just a funny character. I think he does this role really, really well.
Yeah. When I thought of the Notebook, it was more so the like head over heels do anything in love.
Mhm.
And that's like the vibes that Ken gives too.
Mhm. Yeah. Ken is a
For
very
Marg
unique character though, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love Ken. Like I love Ken. I think Ken's fantastic.
Yeah, I agree.
For Margot Robbie, I was getting like Harley Quinn vibes without the violence. Um, just because, well, I don't even know like how much I can say, but it was just like Harley Quinn vibes if Harley Quinn was a Barbie
I think
and not violent.
this is a pretty unique role for me, seeing Margot Robbie. I've never seen
Uh-huh.
Harley Quinn actually, but I've watched her in other movies, and
Mhm.
she doesn't typically play like such a fun character, but I liked her character arc in this movie. I thought she was good.
Mhm. She her like the she's a funny character. Like Margot Robbie did such a good job like balancing like the serious and the funny and the emotions and like
Mhm.
it was just perfect. Like
Mhm.
I don't know that they could have cast somebody that could have done it as well as she did.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Okay. What stood out to you, your fave part?
The quips and the jokes.
Yeah,
Like I
I agree that
like it was just so good and everyone was getting them. Like in the theater, like people were laughing out loud and like you could tell people were like resonating with what was happening. And there was this guy sitting next to us that had like the best commentary throughout this movie. Like
yeah.
it was just,
There was
yeah.
this couple sitting behind me that would just like burst out laughing at all the jokes, and I loved it. Cuz like when people around you are laughing, it makes you laugh too. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
But this movie is just like full of like blatant sarcasm and satire, and it just
Mhm.
works so, so well.
I totally echo that. I think my favorite part of the film was definitely a spoiler again, so I'm not going to mention it. But uh, one thing I will mention is I just loved Ken. Like I loved his whole
Yeah.
character. Ryan Gosling did
Mhm.
such a good job. I was nervous about it because I wanted it to be so good, and it was really, really good.
Yeah. Yeah. He did great. I'm so glad that he decided to like take the role and like be that because I just like I can't imagine another leading Ken. Like I can't imagine it. It just I don't know.
Yeah, I have no idea who else would do that part. I know we were talking about it a little bit before, but um, Amy Schumer was almost cast as Margot Robbie's part. Um,
Barbie.
and I actually think that would have been good, but it would have been like a totally different movie.
Mhm. Yeah, I think when she was originally cast, I think it was going to be a completely different movie. I think they pivoted big time. Um and I'm glad they did. I mean, I don't know what the movie would have been otherwise, but I just loved everything about the Barbie movie.
Yay. Do you want to talk about our ratings?
Well, I want to talk about well, we kind of already talked about this, but I just want to talk about like the theater, not really the theater experience because I feel like the seeing this in theaters was not really like like you could watch this movie at home and it would be okay.
Yeah.
But just like the viewing experience in general, we already kind of touched on how this is kind of like a crowd pleasing movie. Like people were enjoying themselves in the theater. But the biggest thing for me is, or the biggest thing for me is the like the message that they're sending. And I'm like a grown up, but I can just imagine like being a little girl and seeing this movie and hearing the message that comes across from this movie and just feeling like on top of the world after seeing it and experiencing it. And I'm sure like a bunch of little girls are going to be seeing this movie like with their moms or potentially with their dads or with their best friends. And I think it's just going to be like, I think they're just going to love it.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I mean, I think it goes back to what we were saying about how this is the modern Legally Blonde. Like, I think that's kind of the
Yeah.
feeling that girls had when they first watched Legally Blonde. And that was so like ahead of its time for
Mm-hmm.
2001. And I feel like that's how this is. This very much speaks to like 2023 and the time that we're in. And
Mm-hmm.
um, I I totally like second everything you just said.
Yeah, and this sounds like extreme, but I feel like this could almost be like life-changing for people. Like Legally Blonde gave women permission to be girly and still do their big girl jobs and like to be yourself. You don't have to wear the drab gray or black suit. Like you can wear pink and still be a kick-ass lawyer.
Yep.
And I think that's like the same thing that Barbie is portraying here, which is I just love it. It warms my heart a lot.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, now we can do ratings.
Okay, what did you rate it, Liz?
I gave it 5 stars.
Of course.
No one's surprised. I mean,
No.
also I did move it into my Letterboxd top 4.
Wow, that's big.
I know.
That is
I'm so excited
huge.
to go see this again. I have a girlfriend coming in town next week, and we're probably going to go see it together. And then the next week, my mom and my dad are coming in, and I'm going to go see it with my mom. So I'm like, I'm just going to have Barbie overload, and I just can't wait.
Yeah, I already have tickets to see it again on Sunday, so I will be seeing it again also. I
What
gave
was your score?
I gave this movie a 3 out of 5, which
Mm-hmm.
I think is a pretty healthy rating. If
Yeah.
you call back to my Legally Blonde rating, I gave that one a 2.5 out of 5. So
Mm-hmm.
like this is not typically my type of movie, but like I loved the messaging. I loved the way it was done.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was really, really funny. I would definitely recommend that anybody go and watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what are the other people saying? I think they're agreeing more with you, Courtney. It's getting more of like middle of the road. There's a lot of people that are like me that are like head over heels for this movie. But I think a lot of probably the majority of people are like, this was a good movie.
Yeah. No,
Maybe
I
not my
think
favorite movie, but it was
I
good.
think generally like the ratings are pretty high. Like the tomato meter rating is 89%. I mean, that's high. That's way higher than a 3
Mm-hmm.
out of 5.
Yeah.
And then IMDb right now is at 7.8 out of 10, and
Mm-hmm.
89% of Google users liked it. So like I think that's pretty good. I mean, we'll see how it like evolves over the next couple of weeks as people watch the movie, but
Uh-huh.
I predict it's going to stay pretty high.
Yeah.
It's a
I
well-made film.
I would love if everyone loved this movie and gave it 5 out of 5 stars.
Yeah, so I'm
So,
gonna out you here. Liz was having a crisis yesterday because she was seeing like backlash of this movie on the internet.
uh-huh. Yeah.
And I don't know, that just speaks to like how much, Liz, I think you love and like resonate with this movie,
Mhm.
that like getting upset at people not liking it. It made me kind of nervous when you're having that reaction. I was like, what does she think of like my rating? Like I don't give it a bad rating. Like I
Yeah.
think that's a healthy rating.
Yeah.
It's a great movie. I would recommend people go watch
Mhm.
it. So
Yeah. I can understand like rating it bad because it wasn't your kind of movie, or not rating it bad, but like not giving it a 5 stars. You know what I mean?
mhm.
I can understand that. I'm having a hard time with people who are giving it 1. But it's okay. I know everyone has their own opinions. It's fine. But I do love this movie.
Well, y'all should go watch it and tell us what you think.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely do. Share with us. We'd love to hear it.
Share with us. DM us. Okay. I think it is time for us to say goodbye. So just want to say thank you so much to everybody for tuning in to our Barbie spoiler-free review episode. If you could, please leave us a rating or review, drop a comment on our YouTube, and leave us an answer to our poll and Q&A section on Spotify.
You can find more information about our podcast, plus our entire podography on our website, bcritics.com, or find links to all the things on our Linktree in the episode show notes below.
And be sure to subscribe or follow so you don't miss it. You can find us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts.
All right. Bye, guys. Enjoy the Barbie movie.
Bye, guys.
Hi, Barbie.
Oh, cute.
We should do hi, Barbie. Hi, Barbie.
Oh, that's kind of cute. Do you want to try?
Yeah. I think that's funny.
Okay.
You gotta do the wave though. Yeah. Okay.
Or like this. I think it's more like this. Or is it like this?
I don't think it matters. But Courtney's trying to look like a doll.
Or did they? I don't know.
I waved. I don't know.
Hi, Barbie.
These hands look like this.
Who?
Barbie. Like actual Barbie. Her hands look like this.
Oh, yeah.
But that looks stupid, so just wave.
Hi, Barbie.
Hi, Barbie.
Silly.